7th, you know, 8th, 6th, fighting around there.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Martin-Fitzwater, who answers this question and where does he see himself placing at his first ever Miss Olympia, which is gonna be happening in October. So the first call out is what the Martian is aiming for, and it's not only just him that believes that he can make the first call out. If there was one name that Tyler Mannion specifically mentioned after this year's Texas Pro, that was Martin-Fitzwater, who is gonna be battling it out for the first call out with those guys like Brendan Carey and Hunter Labrada. Obviously, all the other big names, they're the same guys who have been placing high at Miss Olympia level for the last 2 or 3 years or so. So if we take a look at Martin from this year's New York Pro, because that was the show that truly put him on the map. Because I think we can all agree, if Martin shut it down after this year's Detroit Pro, then people would not have been talking about him as a potential top 7 Olympia contender. Because the thing is, he leveled up a lot from Detroit Pro to the New York Pro. So is Martin really that good that he was able to push Nick Walker so much that Nick was only able to get away with the win by just 1 point? So I will leave it up to you guys to decide. So Nick himself said that he actually liked his New York Pro package, except that he should have been a bit more tighter in the waist area. So Martin is gonna have to take down some big names if he wants to get into that top 7. We have Derek, Hardy, Samson, Andrew Jack, Nick Walker, Brendan Carey, and Hunter Labrada. There is your top 7 right there. So who does Martin beat to get into that first call out? I think that is gonna be tough, but still the man is really determined.
Hits that pose. That's for me, that's perfect. I don't know.
Next up is the physique update of Muhammad Foda, another young guy who is making his Olympia debut this year. So another one of Stefan's athletes who looks absolutely incredible, and he looked really amazing at both the shows that he did this year. So can he be in the first Olympia call out? So the panel in the Menace podcast, they talked about him, specifically Dennis James. He seems to be a big fan of his structure, and I have to say, who won't be a fan of Foda's structure? His physique, especially from the front, is so damn impressive.
Well, I don't know. I'm a fan of him. I don't know. I can't help it, guys.
So the front 2 shots of Foda, the front double biceps, and the front lat spread, they are some of the best poses in the Pro League right now. And that is why he won both those shots against John De La Rosa in Tampa. Plus, Foda is also extremely impressive from the side, but he needs to be in a better condition than what we saw at this year's Tampa Pro.
More Foda.
I don't agree.
For me, his front double.
No, not even close.
I'm not saying he's better than Andrew. I didn't say that. I said next to Andrew, this is for me the most impressive front lat spread.
So I have to say he can be a contender for the top 10 at his first ever Miss Olympia. In fact, DJ put him in his top 6, but those predictions will most probably change in the upcoming weeks, especially after we see some more physiques. Guys like Hunter Labrada, who is ready to compete in Italy.
His first Olympia, and I think he's got a good package to definitely make top 10. And possibly, I wouldn't have a problem seeing him somewhere 7th, 8th, 6th, fighting around there if he gets peeled.
So Foda is also another very young guy. He is just 30 years old, and he has all the tools to be one of the best in the Pro League, and can be one of the best of the future generation. And yes, I know his back needs to come up, and that too big time, but he is a hard worker, and he has that mentality where he can lock himself in and just focus on bodybuilding. Next up, we have another physique update at 8 weeks out of the Predator, Tonio. So this is gonna be his 3rd ever Miss Olympia, in fact 4th, because he did 1 Olympia in the 212 class as well. So Tonio was unable to place at his first ever Miss Olympia, but he came in so much better in 2023, and he was able to place top 8. And yes, a few of the top guys, like Beg Ramy, Nick Walker, Rafael Brandao, William Bonac, they were missing at the Olympia last year. But still, Tonio brought a great package last year, and he deserved to place top 8. And the man deserves all the credit for beating guys like Regan Grimes, who was roughly 40 pounds heavier than him, and also guys like Hassan Mustafa, who was about 30 pounds heavier than him. So Michael Criso and Regan Grimes, they are gonna be missing from this year's Miss Olympia stage. And Tonio has a solid chance of placing anywhere between 8th and 10th, and that too once again. So he is one of those shorter guys, but he has good aesthetics, insane development of his back and his quads. The only thing that he's lacking That is in the size department. He needs size overall, especially from the front. He needs bigger chest. But the thing is, he makes up for that by creating that amazing illusion on the stage. And he looks so much bigger than he actually is. So Tonio has definitely put on some size since he won Cali Pro this year. And his major strength, that is the conditioning that he is able to bring to the stage. So where do you guys have Tonio placing at this year's Miss Olympia? So that is a first glimpse of Andrew Jack working out after winning Texas Pro. Just insane roundness. The muscle bellies are just on a different level. So based on his Texas Pro physique, there are gonna be some shots which Andrew is definitely gonna win against everyone in this year's Miss Olympia lineup. Even against Hadi Chopin and Derek Lansford, the front double biceps, the front lat spread, and maybe abs and thigh as well. Now if abs and thigh isn't a winner for him, then he is for sure gonna push Hadi Chopin in that shot. The real question right now is that, how much improved Andrew Jack is gonna be in another 8 weeks time? So will him and his team push the conditioning even further? Because if we strictly talk about conditioning perspective, he was arguably better at the Arnold Classic 2023, but he was, I'm gonna say, kinda thin at that show. So overall, this was the best physique of his career so far. The combination of conditioning and fullness, that was off the charts. And who knows, they might have left some tricks up their sleeves for the big dance in October. So Andrew is probably the most aesthetic physique that we have seen since Miss Olympia Shawn Rhoden, may he rest in peace. And I am talking about the tall guys here. And Shawn Rhoden also had a weak back, especially in comparison to the guy he was chasing, and that is the legendary Phil Heath. Plus, Andrew also has the same coach as Shawn Rhoden. And Chris Aceto truly believes that Andrew Jack can definitely win the Olympia. So are we looking at the number 19th man in the history of the sport to win that Sandow? Only 8 more weeks to find out. The former Arnold Classic champion Samson, he isn't messing around this year either. Everyone always claims that they have made some great improvements in the off-season, but Samson legit is turning some heads. He's turning his biggest weaknesses into his strengths. I have to say the man has never looked this much detailed at 7.5 weeks out of any show that he has done so far in his pro career. Even the glutes are getting shredded this far out. And I have to say we haven't even seen shredded glutes on Samson, even on the day of the show. So that is a warning sign right there for all the competitors out there, that the man is coming in head on. So Samson has mostly posted his back progress during this entire Miss Olympia prep, because we know he is so thick from the side and he has amazing density, and that is actually what makes him so superior to Andrew Jack in the discussion of the tall aesthetic mass monsters, because Andrew still lacks some thickness in those side shots. Now Samson was extremely impressive at this year's Arnold UK, and he is on his way to be that package, and that too by a long shot. So not only is Samson gonna be bigger and more denser, but I'm sure he's gonna be in a better condition, and I think we can all agree that is what all Samson really needs in order to fight for Miss Olympia title this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.